what's up? How you doing? And I did it again. Yep. I really need to work on my greetings. But anyway, yep. We are here for another CinemaWins reaction video. And I figure we have the new live action How to Train Your Dragon movie coming. So I feel like now's a good time to go through all of Lee's How to Train Your Dragon videos. So we're going to do one movie each month. Like, first one in April, second in May, third one in June. You get it. And yep, this should be fun. I loved doing those Everything Wrong with CinemaWins video. They were some of my favorite ones to do, honestly. And yeah, let's get this over with.
Toothless. Does that make this a How to Train Your Dragon style DreamWorks logo? By golly, I think it does.
Yeah, man, I miss that old school DreamWorks logo. Like, see, I'm not that bothered by that new logo that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish started, with where you see all the characters there, but I miss the old school logo where they were a lot more creative. Just thinking back to like Madagascar 2 where the penguins would pop in, or Rise of the Guardians with Jack Frost on the moon. Like, there was something really creative about them, instead of just shoving DreamWorks characters in front of their faces. Just, yeah. Like, it was cool when Marvel did it, but not every logo needs to do that, Yeah.
I know this is sort of a typical tracking exterior shot, but since this movie is about flying on dragons, I call fly shadowing. Dragon shadow, toothless shadowing.
Sure.
Politeness. Beautiful beard win.
Yep. A lot of beautiful beards in this one.
Combining not one, not two, but three classic cliches together. Slow motion glamour hair flip shot, no look explosion walk away, closing with the right stuff hero walk. Maybe one cliche is a sin, but three together is a win.
Sure.
Plenty of marks.
Craig Ferguson has done some stuff, but you don't expect a talk show host to be the comedy center of this movie. And he is.
Yeah, I love Gobber.
Yes, will throw it for me.
Setting up Hiccup's engineering skills that he'd have the tools to develop in this smithy, I can't possibly be using that correctly, make it much easier to accept when he builds a tail fin contraption later on.
That's a good point, yeah. So far, not too many notes.
Some anticipation building by not showing us the Night Fury's true form. It just blocks out the starlight behind it.
Yeah.
Mark's animation style is one of my favorites. I touched on it a bit in Kung Fu Panda, but they blend animation with reality in a very pleasing way. Not every character is a perfect human specimen.
Yep, it's always cool. And now I'm thinking, we just had that Shrek 5 teaser, and a lot of people complained that, like, the Shrek and Fiona and that, they look Disney-fied, and they don't look as, like, weirdly ugly as they did in the other movies, and yeah, I get it. That's part of what made DreamWorks appealing. They don't try to make everything look pretty and all. They embrace the fact that not everything's gonna look pretty, So yeah.
An extra large boy with beefy arms.
I can't believe they didn't let Jay Baruchel do a Scottish accent.
Oh, and I guess addressing, you guys don't have to keep telling me this. Yes, I know I screwed up. I know now. Yeah. Burke does not take place in Scotland. I know that now. The Brave and How to Train Your Dragon both have Scottish accents. Yeah, I'm really sorry I screwed it up. I know I messed up when I wrote that. Yeah. You don't have to. I still get comments about it. Like, you don't have to keep telling me, guys. I know. Yeah.
So many beautiful beards.
Yeah.
Father told me to bang my head against a rock, and I did it. That rock split in two.
Demolition lessons. It might not be good dinosaur levels of realism, but man, is this scenery stunning.
It is.
Dragon Mercy. I mean, talk about detail. Look at that iris, and again with a reflection of the tree in his pupil. And since Kung Fu Panda...
Oh, the tree, I never noticed that. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, hold on.
Detail.
Yeah, I never noticed that tree in his eyes. That's really cool.
Look at that iris, and again with a reflection of the tree in his
pupil.
pupil.
Or that, sorry. That's what I meant, yeah.
And since Kung Fu Panda, I've been informed by some of my more knowledgeable fans that the reflection is actually a shader win for the technical team and software. So that's a win for my fan base. It still impresses me every time I see it.
Huh. Yeah, nice job acknowledging your fans, yeah.
Human Mercy.
Yeah, I've always thought about how loud is that got to be in Hiccup's ears, Like, I feel like his eardrum should be, like, cracked from that. Yeah, I've always wondered, like, would he still be hearing after that? I know it's a movie or it's unrealistic. I know. It's just always funny to me to think about if this were real life,
great reaction.
Hiccup already killed
Yeah.
Night Fury, so does that disqualify him, or?
I'm just wondering, did they write lines specifically for Jonah Hill, or does he just turn everything into a Jonah Hill line? No complaints. He's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, he's funny. Weirdly, he plays a villain really well in Titan from Megamind, so yeah, there's that.
See you as sick or insane and go after the more Viking-like teens.
Encouragement.
Monstrous
Firepower
nightmare.
15?
In real life RPG stats.
Yeah.
They really nailed the injured bird can't fly animation. Another animation detail that's completely unnecessary but nonetheless immerses you in the actual physics of this world is how the flame dances when he turns the page, creating a breeze. Maybe it's just
does,
another result
yeah.
of programming, but color me impressed.
Yeah. And the animation in these movies is always phenomenal. Like, this movie came out in 2010, so this is over 10 years ago, which is crazy to think about, but for the most part, it still holds up really well.
The plethora of dragon types we don't see outside the book is a great example of how much thought and care was put into this film. And after
Yep, I know there's some diehard How to Train Your Dragon fans out there who like know the lore and stuff, which is pretty crazy to think about.
the lightning strike, the dragon drawing starts to move around the page. Adds to the creep factor.
Oh yeah.
Fury. Speed unknown. Size unknown. Your only chance, hide and pray it does not find you.
Great way of showing how vastly the Vikings misinterpret the dragons, assuming that the Nightwing is the most evil and dangerous because they know almost nothing about it.
Is this
Yeah, we fear what we don't understand.
some kind of a joke to you?
Maybe you can't really hear hair color in a voice, but America Ferrera has me convinced.
Oh
The
really?
training sequences serve as visual fun and thrills, as well as push the story forward with all of Hiccup's questions and dragon exposition. And this 300 type world building, survive or don't, gives the Viking training philosophy a realistic feel.
Nice.
Toothless is some kind of super cute cross between a cat and a dog.
Yeah,
And also, my wife bought her Jeep because it reminded her of Toothless.
I can see it. Yeah, who doesn't love Toothless? It's like just thinking back to that live action trailer. Like, oh man, it's so jarring seeing that Toothless like in the real world. Like they tried their best to make him look as realistic as possible, and it's so jarring, you know, like kind of like not everything needs to be live action, you know, like
Maybe a tad more cat, but share.
ew, yeah. Just remembering when he eats yeah. It's like I feel like every movie has to have at least one like ew kind of moment. Yeah.
And smiling.
Oh, I love this scene.
This is one of the sweetest scenes in the film, and the John Powell track encapsulates the uneasiness and slow acceptance between these two and their budding friendship.
Yep. And yep, there's that iconic shot.
And the absolute trust that Hiccup offers Toothless is really touching.
Tattoo. It's a birthmark.
Okay, I've been stuck with you since birth, and that was never there before.
Bold move to not show us that tattoo, and I love it. Getting to see the fin construction and later the saddle is totally unnecessary and totally spectacular. It gives so much more value to the eventual flight.
Yep,
So much
it
personality
does.
is packed into a creature that can't speak.
Yep, don't think it's too hard to do, but yeah.
Brains over brawn, immediately using his knowledge about dragons' feelings about eels and more importantly, eelpox.
Yep, I mentioned that.
And a troubleshooting how to ride your dragon montage is the fastest way to nearly fall to your death. That sheep knows what's up.
He has
Yeah.
this way with the beasts.
You don't even know. Adding to Hiccup's engineering prowess is the fact that they actually took aerodynamics into consideration with drag and lift, and nothing I really know anything about. But it all seems totally realistic and thought out. Any pilots care to confirm?
I can imagine them doing their research. Yeah. I'm the same thing. I don't know anything about flying, but it feels realistic, you know? Just, yeah.
Everything that's led up to this moment has been great cinema. Hiccup spares Toothless, so Toothless spares Hiccup. Then Hiccup feels guilty for rendering Toothless flightless, so he builds him a prosthetic, only to realize Toothless can't control it himself, so he decides to help him. Riding a dragon is just a happy byproduct of Hiccup helping out his new friend. Man, oh man, did they capture the exhilaration of what flying must be like. Man of Steel made us feel the power and speed of flight, while Toothless gives us some sense of terror. You can almost feel the adrenaline rush as they approach the water.
Man, I missed this in theaters, but I remember people saying, like, this movie was amazing in 3D, and I really wish I saw this in 3D, because especially of this whole scene, like, oh man, because just watching it at home on the TV or on my computer, it really is exhilarating. Like you can like feel your stomach drop when he like goes down, like oh, it's so good.
And how amazing is John Powell's score over top? And then this switch to basically instinctual flying is so intoxicating. You can feel the fight or flight. Well, flight or die response, I guess. Kick in and he just goes for it.
Yeah, that's what you can see why I used this in my intro for that video. It's, yeah, one of the best scenes in the whole trilogy, honestly.
Sorry about that.
Ah,
Come here, girl.
skip.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Internal fire shot shadowing.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the time that my brother had to break the bad news to my niece that no, she couldn't have a dragon as a pet because they don't exist. There were tears, but my wife is still holding out hope.
Just how long did you think you could hide him from me?
Gerard Butler as a father would be terrifying.
He would
Even when
be.
he laughs, I feel like he might pop my head off at any time or like kick me into a bottomless pit. All I'm saying is that he's a perfect cast for contrast with Hiccup.
It is the 300 reference, yeah.
Odin, it was rough. Oh, Thor almighty!
Only question I have is he praying to the Norse gods or the Marvel gods?
I mean, Norse gods, obviously, but yeah.
Defending your friend. All of them.
Thank you for nothing.
You useless reptile!
I love the way Toothless's wings act like a parachute when he spreads them like that. It really shows that the animators attended flight school.
It's really
Another
cool.
amazing flying scene that conveys the wonder of being among and then above the clouds. Hugging.
Alright, I admit it. This is pretty cool.
Honesty.
Well, I would have tied him to a mast and shipped him off for feeding God mad.
That's such a really dark line. Like, so yeah, the fact that they put that in there is pretty insane. Well, it's DreamWorks. DreamWorks always has really dark humor in their movies, so I guess it makes sense.
And you know it.
Stoic the stand
Yes, I know that.
up. The dragon first starts by trying to escape, not just attack like Cage Coliseum monsters generally do. Hint to their true nature. It isn't until it realizes it's trapped that it starts to stalk.
Really good detail. Yeah.
Saving your friend. I know I've been gushing over the animation quality, but I've got to mention the lighting and shadows, which has to be thanks to Roger Deakins, the Coen brothers cinematographer.
Coen brothers, really? That's cool.
Little expectation subversion with the door slamming and bouncing open instead of staying shut like a typical animated film.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when 99% of those parents would be locking Hiccup up right now so he couldn't interfere. And I like that stutter step almost faint is a sign that Stoic immediately regrets his harsh words to his son.
I was a coward. I was weak. I wouldn't kill a dragon.
And that's really the heart of this film. Hiccup may have been afraid, but he wasn't a coward. Showing mercy is not cowardice.
First to ride one, though.
And riding a dragon is braver than anything any Viking has ever done.
Oh, hell is gonna break loose.
And my undies. Good thing I brought extra.
Viking honesty. That's some catapult engineering, construction, and operator trust there. Also, this beehive shot of the dragons is super
I want to pause on that shot because, oh, it's so cool.
chilling. More proof of the dragon's true nature. No interest in killing humans, just running away from the Red Death.
Uh-huh.
Finally seeing the giant Red Death in action is striking. It's no Godzilla atomic breath, but I'd be scared. And the flame coloring and effects are magnificent.
Like, this came out in 2010, man. How does it still look so good? Again, over 10 years later.
Ride him, Grendel.
Is that a Beowulf reference? Didn't see that coming.
Was it?
Coloring and effects are magnificent.
Ride him, Grendel.
Is that a Beowulf reference?
I couldn't exactly hear what he was saying, but probably is.
Didn't see that coming.
It's working.
A little internal continuity there. The banging works on the Red Death, but it also disorients the dragons they're flying on. Yeah, true friendship. Even after the Vikings mistreat Toothless, he still trusts Hiccup.
Oh, yeah.
The final showdown is awesome. Fun flying in action, tense chases, beautiful silhouette battling amidst the clouds. Just a well-constructed set piece.
Now, I'm scared to think about what this will look like in live action, man, because, yeah.
The Red Death must have picked up a spread gun. Ah, the look on Toothless's face, like he's not so sure, but he still has faith in Hiccup. Amazing facial animation.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that they set up the way dragons breathe fire in this story by filling their mouths with gas and then sparking that gas as the final way to destroy the Red Death is such a well thought out solution and shows how much consideration went into the continuity of this film. I mean, what a gorgeous shot for a cartoon. And the image of Toothless flying into the fire to save his friend gets me every time.
Yep.
I did this.
If you'll remember, that's the exact line Hiccup says when he finds Toothless tangled and injured.
I did this.
Yeah, I remember that.
A turning point for both characters.
He's alive.
Hiccup's alive.
Well,
That would be a plot twist in the live action remake if that killed Hiccup. Man. Imagine if they did that. They won't, but, man.
you know, most of them.
Leave it to Gabber to underplay losing a foot, but that is the Viking way.
Yep.
Turns out all we needed was a little more of this.
You just gestured to all of me.
Go back! Silver lining, his loss actually makes him a more fluid part of Toothless.
Yeah.
One more wonderful flying scene getting us hyped up for the sequel.
Yep.
Whoa, is this Yonsei? Like the guitarist from Sigur Rós, who is Icelandic? Well done, movie. Well done.
Yep, his songs in all 3 movies are really good.
What a visually as well as emotionally beautiful film. The story of misunderstood enemies becoming
Yeah.
friends with a touch of fatherly acceptance, fun action, and flying. John Paul's score brought the spirit of this movie to life. The voice actors
His best
were all at the
work.
top of their game right down to the smaller parts from Kristen Wiig and TJ Miller, but Jay Baruchel, America Ferrera, and Gerard Butler really gave us all the feels throughout. As I touched on a bit already, Hiccup and Toothless are basically the same personalities amongst their respective species. Neither likes to kill, both are somewhat outcasts and do things differently than the rest, and both end up losing a piece of an extremity. And the relationship they form is heartwarming and makes us all get choked up thinking about our own pets. How to Train Your Dragon is a great film because of likable characters,
Da-da-da, we're dead.
solid pacing, fun action, a cute love story, and just dragons. But what sets this film apart are the themes and messages. The most basic is to be true to who you are, but with a unique spin. Hiccup never really pretends to be anything other than himself. It wasn't a lesson he needed to learn because he already had. I like that. Sure, he initially says he wants to kill dragons and be more Viking-like, but he intended to do so with his intelligence rather than pure brute force.
Yep.
On the contrary, he was true to himself even when no one believed in him. Another theme is a common animated trope that there are no true bad guys, just misunderstood guys. And although this movie leads us down that path, we eventually learn that not only are they misunderstood, but they're oppressed by the real bad guy.
Yep.
They're still a bad guy, and they don't shy away from dealing with him. Her. It?
Whatever.
So not all dragons are bad, but not all dragons are good either. It's a stronger message than can't we all just get along.
Yeah.
This film set up a great series, and throwing Jon Snow into the sequel was never a bad idea. If they'd only thought to cast the Mother of Dragons as well. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah. Amelia Clark. I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I know, yeah.
My dog, Khaleesi.
Oh, never mind.
With a dragon-esque figure.
Only 100?
Now, you're thinking about this all wrong. It's not so much what you look like, it's what's
Well, inside
that
you can't stand. Yeah, you know, I was. Every time I think I know the line, I guess I don't. Dang it. Okay, and that was my reaction to the How to Train Your Dragon CinemaWins video. Just realized I didn't really have that much to say. Hey, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty good video. Still my favorite DreamWorks movie, and that'll be all for now. I will definitely get to the 2 sequels soon, so that'll be all. Peace.